Way whenever you're ready. Thank you, sir. Okay, so welcome to this week's TOC meeting. So in terms of what we've got on the agenda, there's review actions from last week, review outstanding PRs, update on charters for working groups, which will be really brief, formatting cadence of getting working group activity health updates, and any other business. So in terms of reviewing the actions from last week, there was only one, which was to review the RFC process proposal with a goal to merge so we can try out and refine the process. So how did that go?
Yeah, I think it's coming together. Lee, I think I'm still a little confused about how we've stated the order of operations for the number assignment.
Yep.
Because
okay.
I know you made that change to say, well, we'll pick a number that's, the next in sequence. But I think we just need some steps towards the end where we actually pick the number.
Right.
Sorry that I didn't get a chance to actually make a suggested revision there when I was taking a look yesterday.
That's all right.
But other than that, I think it's looking pretty good for us to try out.
Okay, and we've got 4 PRs to actually try it with already that have been approved, so they will be the first ones. All right, I will have a look at that over the next couple of days and try and get that one sorted. So I'll tell you what, I'll take that as a carry over. Cool. So yeah, I'll take that as a carry that one over, and I will make a mental note to make the tweaks in there as well. So in terms of outstanding PRs that we've got, I'll post these via chat as well. So we've got the UAA Go CLI, which has had some activity, but it looks like we're really awaiting the working group to actually make their decision on that one. So I'm quite happy with this to leave that to the working group. Any thoughts against?
No, I think they have to make the decision. Yeah. I would love there to be a Go-based UAA CLI, but I also want us to support that and really make it work and complete in terms of feature set. And I don't know if we have the energy to actually completely destroy the Ruby CLI and move over to the Go CLI, but the people that know would be the people that are closest to working on UAA these days.
It's still I've just followed that link that Behan posted, which is it's on the agenda of a past working group meeting, but there's no kind of meetings. It's no decision to see there. So maybe
Ruben, do you know?
Ruben was at least participating according to the list of attendees.
I'm joining from the car. So which CLI do we want to deprecate?
The Go-based UAA CLI. Do you know if your working group has made a decision about whether they're going to go ahead and try to roll out and replace the Ruby UAA CLI with the Go CLI, or archive the Go CLI for UAA?
I heard some people talking about this, but we haven't talked about this in the working group meeting. So past working group meeting. So okay. I will bring it up in the next one. But I will also, because the UAA people don't regularly attend, so I will follow up with Marcus.
Sounds fair. Thanks.
But why is that relevant to the TOC?
It's an outstanding PR in the community. In the community repo.
I see. To remove it from the list, or.
Well, it would be to add it to the scope. The proposal is to add it to the Go CLI to the scope of the foundational infrastructure working group.
I see. Yeah, thanks.
And then, of course, we'd want to, if we do decide that working group should maintain that, we'd want to move it into the main Cloud Foundry org as part of the de-incubation cleanup.
But by the way, I think the question from Ruben makes sense. I think we wouldn't need to discuss that. So it might be a good time to start labeling things where, like, I mean, if two working groups would fight for owning or not owning a particular component, that's maybe where we should get involved.
Yeah.
But this is a working group local decision, which we might just filter out by applying a label. It's like, I guess it has to be a PR on this repo because there's the scope of the working groups and it's a change to there, but they don't need our approval if there's no conflict about that, right? Or do they?
I think they need some approval from us about extending the scope of the working group to encompass that technical asset, because like we wouldn't want to set a precedent where a working group could say, you know, I'm going to claim any unclaimed technical asset in the orgs. But I think we're all in agreement that this seems like a reasonable expansion of their scope if they want to take it.
Okay.
I mean, I think there's less a problem of people claiming things more than people disowning things.
Well, yeah,
that's
the
bigger
problem. Like, we don't have anything left.
we can currently, right? We're not deprecating it currently, right? Because we still have to have that internal talk in that working group. But so as it is now, I would say it falls into scope, right? So from a TOC perspective, we could just merge the PR and then later deprecate it and then remove it again. I mean, like, I would assume like removing things from your list would be, can we do that with code owners or something? So we don't like have to go through the TOC to update that list, or is that not a preferred way to do it?
I suppose Eric has a good point there that like at least there should be some instance that notices that, oh, well, maybe this is actually something where another working group has another opinion on where it should belong, and like bringing the people together. So maybe initially really getting notified about that is fair, but like for now we can have like this decision that Lee now materialized as a label that this is now like it's a working group local decision. And we just won't have it on the list again next week.
Yeah, and just for completeness, there's add Uaa Pipeline, which I've just posted, which again I've just labeled as a working group one. No disagreement there at all on that one. So then our next one of note is here, which is moving volumedriver from runtime working group to services working group. And it looks like we now have enough approvals, including from people that were nominated to approve to merge that one in. I will hit the button on that one, and that one's gone. Okay. So then we have another working group related one in here, but this one actually I think does require some TOC discussion, which is adding the repo for CredHub BOSH Release to the scope of the infra working group, as Jan has weighed in on that one.
Yeah, it's like I would like in the current state, I would actually veto it. It's not in the Cloud Foundry org, so it has to be contributed to the CFF by Pivotal or VMware as the successor organization before we can go on with that. I have no reason not to want this repo in scope, but there's just this is a prerequisite for.
Yeah, totally. This was like an artifact of CredHub not being open source originally. And then apparently we like open sourced it, but didn't transfer it effectively 100%.
Yeah.
And so like, there's no reason for the BOSH release not to be. Like if CredHub is not actually a thing the foundation wants, the other option is we move CredHub out of the foundation to Pivotal CF or open source. But like if CredHub is a thing the foundation, so the TOC could make a decision about whether CredHub is a thing that lies sort of in scope for the Cloud Foundry Foundation. I guess my perspective is it's a great implementation of config server, though it's not the only implementation of config server, so it doesn't have to exist there.
Are there really other implementations in the open source
server,
other than the default implementation that somehow comes with BOSH or something?
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, of config server.
But I think Diego or Cloud Controller has integration with CredHub as well. So it's a little bit weird for it not to be an open source Cloud Foundry Foundation project. Though if that's never used by anybody besides VMware customers, we could pull it out too. But it's weird to have half of it in Pivotal CF and half of it in Cloud Foundry. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. I think config server only exists because CredHub was initially proprietary, right? To have at least something. I mean, Bosch was interacting with a config server. So
I thought there was some sort of licensing issue why the BOSH release for CredHub wasn't in the foundation, but I don't remember the specifics now. We might need to consult someone with deeper CredHub context. Because there'd been a number of discussions about moving it into the CFF, and yeah, I think there's even an open issue on it from Dr. Nick requesting that it get moved.
Yeah, I'm totally gonna go track it down.
So what are our next steps with this one?
I think you got to assign that one to me. I think I'm closer to it than Eric is on the VMware side. So I'll take ownership of trying to figure out what to do with it and track down. We really might not be able to do it for some reason. This could be quite interesting.
Okay, I've labeled that as both TOC and working group because it's kind of in both at this point, I think. Okay. So they're the outstanding PRs that we've gone through. So the only update on the charters was your feedback nudge on community experience working group. I've not seen anything on there. Have you heard anything at all, Eric?
No, I pinged Amelia and Greg at the end of last week, but I haven't seen any response from them yet. So okay. I think this week I will reach out directly to try to get them engaged.
Okay, cool. So another more interesting thing is the format and cadence of getting working group updates into the group. Jan, you suggested this one, so
it's like I just recalled that was at least one of the things we initially discussed when, like, I think this came up from Dr. Jules in these predecessor discussions, that one of the things that Knative does there is on a regular cadence, like, I don't know, every 8 weeks or something, working groups present like kind of their state, their health, and it's also about things like an increase or decrease of contributions and like figuring out if there's something where TOC might help and whatever, these kind of things. And I think we already we had that in the discussions about the TOC charter as well as one of the things we should do. So maybe it's time to think about what we want to hear from them and how often we want to hear that from those, because there are now a couple of working groups that have apparently started really working with having regular meetings and these kind of things. That's why I brought it up.
Yeah, I agree with that one. I mean, it sounds like one a week seems like a fairly sensible approach to go for. And we've got 8. So it does work out as kind of 1 in 8 cadence. So that seems perfectly reasonable. What is it that we want to know, I guess, is the question. Because they're going to want to know what we're looking for.
I guess like what they are heading for, like the plans, like in broad strokes, of course, so that we might, I don't know, identify where we should bring different working groups together, or just to have a feeling of what's on the roadmap, what not, and if there are conflicts or missing pieces, missing links, these kind of things. That's one of the aspects. And then in terms of healthiness, like, are they actually getting new contributors or an increase of interest, or is there actually a lack of contributors, a problem even? Like a working group that says, yeah, we know there are gaps, but there's just nobody working on it. So this is all you can get. So this could be another point. And actually offering a stage to say, here's something where the TOC could support us, because we have, I don't know what, we need CI, and we heard there's this kind of budget for CI, these kind of questions, right? Maybe even reaching out into like, there's the governing board should do something for somebody, and we are the link there, these kind of things. So to have that be directional.
Yeah, I think that sounds like a good idea to me, having a regular forum for the working group to raise if there are any needs from the TOC or the broader CFF.
Okay. That sounds perfectly sensible, and I think we should probably get that going, really. Jan, do you fancy drafting something for us to send around to the working group leads?
Yeah, try to pick that one.
Okay, cool. I'll put that. Already been beaten to it by Eric. Thank you very much. Okay. Has anyone got any other thoughts on that?
One thing I think we should do is like set up that calendar so that people have enough advance notice that that we're expecting a synchronous meeting attendance at this time.
Yep. Yeah, I think that's reasonable. And I'm just thinking, if we're aiming to get that out this week, we should probably look to start go with the 25th, say, as the first one. That way it gives people an opportunity to prepare, having seen it.
That seems like probably the earliest we could aim for. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, that's definitely the earliest.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. So, have we got any other business today? You're on mute, David.
No, I just saw Ruben's cool dark room and I was like, ooh, exciting.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I don't have anything to, I don't have anything to bring up. I probably have stuff I should have asked you all about over the last few weeks that I haven't brought up, but it's my fault for not remembering what it is.
Hey guys, I had a presentation to make on Lfx Security and I had a question for your team. My name is Pranab. Should I go ahead?
Hey.
Go for it.
Yeah, sure.
So I will share the slides. It's a short presentation, 5 slides. You guys have probably already seen security, I'm guessing, or are you familiar with it? What it does?
No, the security team at the Linux Foundation?
Yeah.
I don't think they are at all yet.
Yeah.
Sorry, I should have introduced Pranab. Anyway, Pranab works the LF, and yeah, he's got a short presentation here.
Yeah, so
hey Pranab, before you begin though, this meeting is being recorded and will be uploaded on YouTube. Do you think it's prudent to allow
yes,
it?
Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, so quickly, what security does is it looks at the dependency scanning. That is the biggest feature that we have. Besides dependency scanning, we also do, for dependency scanning, we use SNCC, which is a third-party vendor. And then we also do code secrets, passwords, code secrets, and non-inclusive language. And for that, we use Blue Bracket. So I have given some more explanation, and then we can quickly go to the demo. So here in Cloud Foundry, as you will see, so this is the security page, right? And in my presentation, I have given the link and link to the documentation. So you guys should have it. So Cloud Foundry shows up like this. You see 563 total repos. The thing where I need your help is, see 511 are showing up in common. So the way security is onboarded is, if I go here, this is the project onboarding site, project admin, PCC we call it. So Cloud Foundry. See, I'll go to security. Cloud Foundry has got multiple sub-projects. So in that project group, there are multiple sub-projects. I need to know which repos fall in which subproject so that I can do that assignment correctly. That is one help I needed. So yeah, let it load.
Yeah, we're organized by working group now, and the definitions of the working groups contain the links to the repos. The repos that are not in a working group probably don't need to be scanned because they're really just dead in one way or another, or very, very peripheral, not included as part of like the core Cloud Foundry distribution.
Oh, okay. So do you have so working group is like a subproject, is it?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I wouldn't go further than that. I would say there's Cloud Foundry, and then there's the like 6 working groups, and each working group has a markdown file that defines the repos inside of it. And I think there's even a YAML file definition that's machine readable that Ruben could mention if I'm right about.
Okay. Okay. So I can see when I click down, I see all of these application runtime, PMC, BOSH, this. So I could find repos that had BOSH in them, and I assigned it to this working group.
These look pretty out of date, actually. This is
Yeah.
the previous governance structure for the foundation. So this needs to be updated somewhere in your system.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so the app runtime PMC and extensions PMC will be deprecated. BOSH will probably be renamed Foundational Infrastructure. The Cloud Foundry binary project is simply a legal device we've created to get a OV certificate. Paketo and Open Service Broker API would be the same, but I can update you on the names of the working groups, and then we can. I mean, there's still a previous discussion. There's still some talk about what repositories are going into what working groups, but we can get this mapped out a lot cleaner than it has been in the past.
Okay.
The question: what is the same with Open Service Broker API, PMC, and Paketo build packs?
Well, Paketo build packs is its own working group. And actually, yeah, is Open Service Broker API, does that have its own working group, or is that in another working group?
It's now part of service management.
Okay, so that's in service management. Okay, but Paketo is its own entity, right? So yeah,
but it's an entity that's part of CFF, right? It's a working group, just like the other working groups. Or
Right.
it's a bit unclear what it is, right? It's a bit of it's like I'm asking now, and like I was about to bring things up, I guess, next week. After realigning with other folks, I think that's actually worth discussing, right? Should Paketo be part of the security vulnerability working group of the CFF, or have similar means and things like that? So I was just asking because this kind of scanning tool should probably apply to the Paketo repos as well, which are residing in a completely different GitHub org.
Okay.
So that's definitely something we need to somehow.
Right now, we are not scanning Paketo build packs.
What?
Right now, we are not scanning that GitHub org.
Yeah, I guess you should, but I guess we should involve the Paketo build packs working group leads.
Yeah,
because it's kind of a bit of an exception, right? It's part of the CFF, it's part of the TOC, but it has its own governance structure. But like, I guess it's definitely worth talking about with the Paketo folks, and maybe also involving Paul Warren and others from the CF vulnerability. Is it vulnerability working group or security working group, whatever? One of those working groups that we formed to decide on these kind of aspects.
So when you guys redo the sub projects, is Chris going to be the one, right, who I should communicate with? And he's
I can get you all that mapped out. I mean, I can get you the updated names of the projects now, and fairly soon I should have accurately mapped repositories. I mean, it's close now, but there's still some work being done.
Okay, so now let's see Cloud Foundry, how it looks like. So when you log in, you get to connect with GitHub, but since I'm not a writer on your repos, so I won't have permission through GitHub. So I will just connect as a member organization or committee member. So this is for any employee of a member company of Linux Foundation who can come and confirm identity from here. So this, yeah. So once I log in, it gives you, this is the information that security provides. It's taking time to load. Yeah, so you see this project criticality score, and we have a extensive documentation explaining all this, but code secrets detected, recent alerts, how many password assignments found, this, that, JWT tokens, all of this, critical, high, medium, low severity for different vulnerabilities that we detected and all that. And then we also give you a version tree, and this is all in real time. So there is no way to select a date or calendar. What is showing is what is happening right now, what the last scan was, and the scans happen once every week. So in the issue section is where I think you guys would be most interested. So you can select a particular org from here. So like for Cloud Foundry, we see all of these issues. You can search a repo, particular repo that you're interested in. And in view details, so if you were a maintainer or contributor, you would get more options. Like you could, come here and you could mark some issue as not relevant and you could close it, that kind of a thing. Close it in the sense it won't show up here. So yeah, you can work on these, and then we expect that whoever looks at this and they see what the issue is. So like, for example, let's look at fixable ones. 1 minute. So let's look at this identity CI. Is there any fixable? So everything is non-fixable right now. Okay. But the fixable ones will show you what the fix is also. So that's what I wanted to show you. 1 minute. Okay.
Presumably, this is very similar to the vulnerability dependency analysis that GitHub does.
Right.
On repos,
Yeah.
right? So like,
Okay.
I definitely want to talk to you about like, why use this over that? I can tell that you have additional stuff that GitHub doesn't have, the language scanner and so on. I think what's really useful to us that neither of you have, that VMware has, is binary scanning. So like the problem is that a lot of the contents of these repos aren't in the repos themselves. They're in blobs stored in S3. And to do full vulnerability analysis, you have to follow those blob references, dereference those blobs, pull them down and scan them for dependencies. So like there's a lot of value. I think where we could add value on top of GitHub is with understanding the structure of a BOSH release, assembling that BOSH release, and then binary scanning it, because that's what's not encoded in the repo itself, trivially. That's what's hard to find the vulnerabilities in.
Okay. We can look into it because we are going to ramp up this platform with static code analysis. We are looking into some vendors for that. We can use binary scanning also. I think that's a good idea. So here you see this, it will tell you what exactly is the issue that is fixable, and you can click on learn more. It'll take you to the SNCC website where you can see what exactly the description was and where exactly the problem is. Upgrade, how to fix, upgrade Ubuntu bash to version this or higher. So that's how the fixable ones can be fixed, and contributors, maintainers can come and do that. And the other view we show is a dependency tree, like where you can see within a GitHub org, where you're seeing the most vulnerabilities. So like here, like for example, yeah, I mean, it's taking time to load up. Oops. Let me go to vulnerabilities only. This is, yeah, sorry, this is not working correctly, but when it should show you where exactly, okay, something has gone wrong, where exactly the vulnerabilities are. Then in the licenses tab, SNCC could not find any licenses. Okay. Code secrets is the new feature where we are looking for, password assignment, password in URL, AWS access key, that kind of a thing. It also tells you which developer did it. So we have the developer name, and you can mark. Okay, this is again, it's since we make real-time calls to the vendor API, the calls time out, and that's why you see that message couldn't be found. We are working on putting it into a data lake, which will make it better. So I guess in a month or so, this should be much better experience for the user, and the timeouts will go away. But yeah, let me get this. While this loads, let me click on here. Nah, it's timing out. And the non-inclusive language is again timing out. I should have told the team not to make any changes. Anyway, yeah. So I want you guys to whenever, like in a month or so, when this system is more stable, log into it, please. And like you gave me the idea about that binary scanning, anything that you can think of that we can make, build in this product, make it better. That would be really helpful.
One question, how do I get access to this? Because I tried logging in, and when I authenticate with GitHub, I cannot see anything.
What error does it give you? It cannot authenticate you, is that what it says?
It says no associated projects found.
So what you need to do is, does it give you an option to go to individual portal?
No, it says
no. Okay, let's.
So like, is it supposed to inherit the roles from GitHub, or?
It is supposed to, yeah, inherit the roles from GitHub. Let me send you this link in the Zoom meeting. So, there it is. And yeah, so what should happen is that when you come to security and you click on any project, it should automatically look up your GitHub and see that you have write permissions on that GitHub org for that project, and it should let you in as a maintainer contributor. But if it's not doing that, that's a bug. And who tried it? Can I get your ID?
Ruben Koster, or Koster.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so if sorry, the things did not load correctly, but when you guys get a chance, if you can try it and let me know if you all run into any problems, I would love to work on this. We are in the process of onboarding, so as you can see, we have got like about 10 projects here. Easy CLAs is our own code. Finos is the one big foundation that has been onboarded. You might get a few notifications and stuff when we reassign the projects here. Like the ones that I was showing you from code secrets and non-inclusive language. It sends out notification emails when it finds something and a new scan happens. So just to let you guys know. And yeah, take a look at the slide deck and documentation and let me know if you have any questions.
I was able to get this to work, by the way, but I logged in with GitHub and it said I had no repos. And then I clicked connect member identity or foundation identity, whatever.
So you were able to get the view access. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. After I signed in with GitHub, which then didn't give me access to the repos.
Okay, so that seems like a bug happening at multiple places. Okay.
Yeah. David Stevenson, the best QA tester there is.
Oh God.
Well, this is cool. I am having trouble like analyzing yet why we want to use this over the GitHub tools, but like I do recognize that there are advantages already to it. I just think we have a good thing going with GitHub Dependabot and vulnerability analysis on the repos that do matter to us. And what we're going to see is a ton of noise on all the repos that don't matter to us. And we could probably tune this so that it actually only focuses on things we care about, which we've already done on the other thing. So like, I'm trying to.
The biggest advantage of this tool is that it'll give you extra stuff. And as we are, as I mentioned, static analysis, and you mentioned the binary scanning, as we add more vendors and more scanning, you will not get that on GitHub. So you will probably get just one variety, and we will do extensive one.
That's fair. That's fair. Okay, well, I think it's up to us and the TOC to make technical recommendations to how much we should utilize this tool, but we really appreciate it. It does look really cool. It's too bad GitHub has any of this, because if it didn't have any of this, I'm like, oh, it's really easy. Like there's just all value there, but there's a switching cost that we have to think about.
Okay.
Should we have Pranab back in 6 weeks or something, or should we, how should we proceed with this? Do you all want to play around with this tool a little bit? Or, I suppose.
Yeah, I want to play with this tool.
You could connect and talk about binary scanning at some point.
Sure. Yeah, we're sort of in the process of doing more vulnerability scanning in VMware's pipelines right now. So like we can consider mirroring some of that into using some of these kinds of tooling into the foundation, or we can just have that feedback into the foundation. Like we need to do something that kind of helps us find those critical vulnerabilities and make sure that we do have the right vulnerability, like dependency bumping in place for the repos we do care about that continue to have these CVEs, and so on. So that's got to happen one way or another. This tool might be a good way to push that out of VMware, down into the foundation. So I will look at this and see how I think this should fit in with our other scanning stuff.
Cool.
And I think it's fair to actually have the CFF Foundation kind of pay for this. This is like, we have a budget for CI, and if there's binary scanning tools that either cost or don't cost anything, then we could go for that. Like, I guess there are options. There's I think to be open source tool that does binary analysis like Gripe, but there's also white source and Black Duck and all those things that actually take money for it. But having this in the foundation is definitely worth it.
The only thing I would ask is, what is the feedback mechanism?
Yeah, the feedback mechanism for this would be, you can directly, contact me. And sorry, I should have given my contact address. So let me type it here. My email is Linux Foundation. And then if you have access to Discord server. So Henry, can you give that access to the Discord server?
Yeah. Hey everyone, my name is Henry. I'm a community manager with LFX. You guys can also give feedback to the Lfx community forum. Here, let me send you guys a link. And you guys can, yeah, I guess it might be easier if I share my screen and show it to you guys real quick to walk you guys through.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah, let me do that. So on the forum, you guys can share any feedback, questions you may have, or and we also post content on.
Get more people out today.
Yeah,
You don't have to go in.
he didn't say he had to go in, but he asked me to help him.
So if you guys would have a question with the tool or would want to give feedback, you would go to the suggestion box. Content articles is where we post recipes on how to do things like benchmarking organization contributions. If we go to get help, if you guys have a question on something, for instance, someone was trying to find top contributors for a project for their mentorship program. They asked the question here. They were hoping to use Insights to find top contributors, but they could only find people for companies. And we let them know how to find it. And we also let them know another place they could find this, as community leaderboard generates information from LF individual dashboard accounts, but also GitHub accounts as well. So there may be more contributor information on the community leaderboard in Lfx Insights. Have you guys heard of Lfx Insights? Okay, gotcha. Yeah, so the community forum is just a great place to discuss on questions on anything. If you have any feature requests, any general open source questions, suggestions, feedback on LFX, everything is done here. All right. Thank you very much. Here, I'll share the invite link.
Yeah, all good questions. And I can definitely come back in 6 weeks, and hopefully when we have the data lake implemented and the response is much better, I can give you a better demo. This was this bombed, I'm sorry.
Oh, no worries at all.
Yeah, and I think that's a great point that you guys brought up about the binary scanning. That would also be something that we can bring up in the discourse and see if other projects would be interested in that as well, and see how we could support that.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, has anyone got anything else for this week? No? All right. Well, let's just have a quick look of actions to undertake. So it's on me to revise the RFC proposal to make sure that the number assignment steps are nice and clear. On the TOC to review the process proposal once I've had a chance to update the final bits in there. So I'll tag you and let you know when that's ready. And for Jan to draft the communication to the working group leads about interacting with us on a regular cadence. Have I missed anything?
I'll work with Pranab to make sure that he's got the right mapping for the projects as they stand now, and then I'll also get something scheduled with him to come back in approximately 6 weeks. So I'll get that set up.
Okay, cool. All right. So I think then that brings us to a close for this week, unless anyone's got anything else. Well, all right. Have a wonderful week, all.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks for
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, folks.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.